Hey, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys. This is a first look video for our brand new 8000 series cameras. These are the super zoom cameras, and I say 8000 series because there's actually several models that we offer here. The 8200, 8300, 8400, 8500. Basically the difference is between the different models is the zoom ratio. So they range anywhere from a 40 times zoom lens up to a 46 times zoom lens, okay? So other than that one feature, all of the S8000 series cameras have the same features, functionalities, body, style, size, etc. So we're going to cover them all off with this first look video. So Billy, take it away, give us the first look.
Absolutely, and as Greg mentioned, all the models that he mentioned earlier, the controls are basically all the same other than the zoom. So let's take a look at some of the controls on this camera. First off, we look at the front of this camera, we have obviously the zoom lens. It's, this one here in particular is a 40 times zoom lens, but again, as the models change, they do have slightly different variations, again from 40 and on. It is a f2.9 at wide angle, so it's quite fast when shooting, especially if you're shooting in low light, which is great. And the camera also offers a CMOS sensor, so it's going to be even better for low light. But also that improves, the shooting abilities in terms of autofocus, shot-to-shot time, stuff like that. So that's a huge improvement. Looking at the front of the camera on the left-hand side, we still have the AF assist lamp, and that helps the camera to focus in low light situation. It shoots a low beam out and allows the camera to focus easier on that. Then you have this sort of grip. This is a standard S series style camera, like a DSLR. It has that nice steady grip to it, and the lens is out like that, so it allows for a better hold. Okay, on the side, kind of front side of the camera still, you have the zoom control. That's one of the zoom controls. This camera offers two, one on the lens and one near the shutter release, which I'll point out a little later. And again, pushing up or down allows you to zoom in, zoom out. You have a pop-up flash button. You pop that open, and the flash, of course, is built into the camera. You can suppress the flash by just closing it. And of course, you have an area here to attach your neck strap, or one of the neck straps side. On the opposite side, you have, again, the other area to attach your neck strap. You have a little connector cover here that allows you to connect an HDMI cable, which is optional, as well as the USB cable if you plan to download images off the camera via the computer connected to USB. Okay, and again, you have that little rubberized grip on the handle, which makes it nice. And also there's a rubberized grip on the lens as well, which is nice to see. On the bottom of this camera, you have the speakers. You have the tripod mount, and of course you got the battery door cover. And as you open that up, it gives access to 4 AA batteries, and it comes just with alkaline batteries. But we highly recommend you buy a set of rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries. And of course, this is also where the memory card goes in right there. Just closing that. Now, looking at the top of this camera, again we have now the left and right stereo microphone. The camera offers full HD video with stereo recording, and that's where the mic input comes from there. You have the mode dial, and it allows you to toggle between the various shooting modes, including the SR Auto, which is basically an automatic mode. It adjusts between different lighting situations and the different type of scenes, where there's a subject, where you're at the beach or whatnot. In addition to that, the great thing about these style cameras is that it actually offers full manual control. So you have controls over aperture, shutter speed, and even full manual control. So if you really want to get into photography, this is a great start for you, and it allows you to have that low control. And as you get better and better, you kind of end up going off of auto and using these controls more. You also have things like the Panoramic Mode. And again, we'll have another video called the Top Features video on this camera that goes through some of these key modes and shows you exactly how to use each function. Beside that, you got the on and off switch. Just holding it down for a few seconds switches the camera on, and then pushing it again, it turns it off. You have the exposure compensation button here, which is a plus and minus. And in addition to that, if you're in the manual control modes like aperture, shutter, you can push that button to toggle between the adjustment of aperture and shutter speeds. You got your access to your continuous shooting button here, which once you push it in, it goes through several bracketing modes as well as high-speed shooting modes. So if you want to do some sport action shots and you want to take the guesswork away of capturing things like that, you can push that button and it brings up the screen so you can toggle between the different shooting options. You got your shutter release button, pushing halfway down pre-focuses and all the way down takes the photo. And then you got your initial zoom controls right on your thumb, as you can see right there, zooming in, zooming out. And in addition to that, like I said, on the side you have that other zoom control. So if you plan to do videos, perhaps you can use the zoom control on the side, and you can actually adjust it for speed so that this one can be very fast going in and out, and the opposite can be a more slower zoom. And so when you're doing videos, it's a lot more steadier when you're filming things like that. Now looking on the back of this camera, we have of course the nice 3-inch LCD screen. Just above that, you also have the electronic viewfinder, and we're finding more and more cameras in this style starting to have that disappear. And I like having one of these things because not only it's great for bright sunlight, but when you actually hold the camera and it's up to your eye level, it's a lot more steadier. And it's definitely the way you want to take photos, especially with the long zoom camera. As anything you can do to keep the camera as steady as possible, that's going to be a key thing to look for. Beside it is a diopter adjustment that allows you to adjust, the different varying levels of diopter adjustment for, eyeglass wearers if you want to be comfortable just wearing your eyeglasses and using that. You have your EVF LCD toggle button that jumps between the LCD or the EVF screen. So you don't have to use the EVF all the time if you don't want to. If you want to use the LCD, definitely you can do that as well. Perhaps when you're shooting, close-up macro shots or even down low, it makes them sometimes a little easier to shoot just with the LCD screen. But again, having both options is great. You got your one-stop, basically full HD video recording button. It starts a video and it stops a video, which is great to have. You have your playback button on the back of the camera here, and if the camera's completely off and you just want to look at your images, you can hold the button down for a few seconds and it'll bring up the camera without actually fully turning on the camera's zoom mechanism. You have this little dial here that rotates, and that allows you to adjust some of the camera settings. In playback mode, you can toggle between different images just by rotating. In manual control modes, it allows you to adjust things like shutter speeds and aperture. But in addition to that, it's our conventional directional pad that allows you to navigate through the different menu systems. You got the menu OK button, basically is the enter button on the camera to confirm a selection. The directional pad, again, navigates the screen, but also in the shooting mode, doubles as quick access to things like the various flash modes, the self-timer, the macro, and also even a function button that you can set up and customize to quickly access, a setting like ISO controls or white balance controls or whatever you like to configure. Now, in the playback mode, pushing up on that directional pad also acts as a quick instant delete button. Just the last button is the display back button. In the shooting mode, you can toggle between the different display screens, including having information on the screen, having grid lines available. It helps you frame the shot, or just having completely nothing in your wish. So you have a nice clear image of what you're trying to frame. And again, that's just a quick run around the brand new S8000 series of cameras.
Right, and this is the first look. And of course, as Billy mentioned, there's going to be a more advanced feature video that will show you how to use some of these great things like panorama and what have you. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got all kinds of these great helpful videos for you, and follow Billy on Twitter. And until next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys.